Good morning. Good morning, handsome butt. With your face. Good morning. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel if you're already a subscriber, and welcome back if you are new. My name is Jasmine and I'm the face behind Raising Boys. So today I decided to do an impromptu like get ready with me morning routine just for a medically complex child, so you can see what a day in the life, well, the morning of Jeremiah usually looks like. So let's get right into the video. I'm not even gonna ramble. Let's hop into the video. Okay, so to start the day at 8 o'clock, Jeremiah gets 2 meds and a water flush. His feed stopped at 7:30. In this clip, you can see that I am taking down his chimney and his feed out of his G-tube port. I forgot to clamp off the chimney and everything came out. So I'm giving him his sildenafil and his docusate. The sildenafil is for pulmonary hypertension and the docusate is for a stool softener, and then 10 ml flush. After that, I'm jumping into checking his CO2 to make sure that's good and his temperature. Off camera, I did check his lungs to make sure that they were clear and air was passing through. In the next clip, you will see me preparing the supplies to do trach care and G-tube care. I just use cotton tip applicators and sterile split gauze. In the packaging, I put sterile water so that they're wet so I can clean that off. And then in the next clip, you'll see me cutting his Mepalex to go around his G-tube stoma to keep that tube stable. And now I am rearranging Jeremiah's tubes and wires to get him out of the pack and play. Typically he does sleep in the living room in his crib, but on this particular night we did not have nursing, so he slept in the room and his pack and play. And then I'll just lay him out. You see Trey there playing. I was smelling his stoma to make sure I didn't have any strange scents. And then I am going to grab the bumper that he sleeps with just to extend his neck a little bit so I can have easier access to the dressing. This is not Jeremiah's favorite part, so I'm trying to be gentle, and I have the TV on so that he has something to distract him and something to distract Trey as well. And then you'll see me just checking his stoma to make sure that there's no granulation or any breakdown around the stoma. Alright, so then I take the wet cotton tip applicators and I will start on the inside and roll out with them to kind of clean the inside the stoma and around it. I do that also with the dry cotton tip applicators on the left and right at the top and the bottom. And then you see me just wiping the top of his stoma, like above it, with a sterile gauze just to make sure everything was dry and clean. And here I am taking out his trach pad that goes under the phalanges on his trach to protect his skin from any breakdown or granulation. This is not Jeremiah's favorite part, of course, but it looks like he was pretty decent for the video. I just lift up the trach tie and slip my pinky finger under and then fix it. The phalanges, not the phalanges, the dressing goes as close to the trach stoma as possible, again to prevent any breakdown or granulation. At this point, I am completely done doing trach care, so I'm getting him undressed here. There's so many different wires and tubes connected to him. It's really not as hard as it looks, but I take both of his arms out first when I'm undressing him. And then once I get the arms out, I will take the circuit off of his trach and put it under the shirt and then take his head out. That's the easiest way for me to get him dressed. There are some people that I know that undress down and dress up, but that's just too much work for me personally, so I just pop him off of the circuit. That's easier. So he has a piece of tape on his G-tube gauze to keep it still and from moving and coming off. So I'm just cutting that tape off. And then from there, I'm going to clean his G-tube stoma with the wet cotton tip applicators. I do just the top and the bottom with wet ones and then dry it with the top and bottom. And if it's still wet, I will go over it with a sterile split gauze. And then here I am putting some cream to keep his granulation down. I think at this point he did have some granulation around his G-tube, so it's called triamcinolone cream. It makes the granulation disappear. So I'm just applying that to his G-tube before putting on the dressing for his G-tube, which is just like a pad. And now TJ left and Trey has come to help. And I'm just putting a piece of tape on that pad underneath his G-tube to keep it from moving. Like I cut it off, and TJ's back to help with Trey. And now I'm just gonna do mouth care with Jeremiah. It's been done because he does not eat by mouth, so I will rub it across his tongue and his cheeks, and as you can see, he's not super thrilled with it. And next, I'm just using a warm rag to wipe his face, ears, and hands. Next, I'm going to remove his socks so I can switch his pull socks from one foot. That little red button or red light on the pull socks can burn his toes, so we rotate it every 8 hours. Well, 6 to 8. He has sensitive skin. So after I get his socks on, I go ahead and grab the lotion to lather his body up with lotion and Vaseline. And then I use that same wash rag to just wash his bottom for the day and put his diaper on. And then after the diaper is on, I just start getting him dressed. So the same thing with his shirt. I usually put his head through, put his arms in, and then pop him off of the circuit. Sometimes I do the circuit first. It just depends on how I feel for the day. And then when I'm dressing him for the bottom, like he's gonna wear pants for the day, I usually try to put his pull socks, like the cord for his pull socks, inside of his pants so that he can't grab at it, because Jeremiah will grab at that all day long. And then I just wet his hair with some water, grabbed his moisturizer to moisturize his hair, and put some oil in there as well. And then I just comb it out to make sure that everything was evenly distributed between the comb and my hands. That usually gets done well. And now he's all done, and I'm just doing some morning PT with him, like baby sit-ups. For him, I hold down his legs so that he can't use his legs to pull himself up. He actually has to use that core. His core is really important for him sitting, crawling, walking, anything. That core has to be very strong. So we're doing that. And then I sit him over, give some love. And now for chest PT. It looks like I'm hitting him really hard, but I'm not. As you can see, he's not upset about it. He's just letting me do what I need to do. And this basically loosens the secretions and his lungs. And then once I do that, I give him a good suction to take out any secretions that were loosened with that chest PT. All right, so now I'm just emptying out the mucus that came out of his trach, so it's not just sitting there. And now it's time for me to take him to the living room. Don't mind my messy closet. And normally Jeremiah does like hang out and play independently. On this particular morning, he had PT for the first time, so that's what we were doing today. While I'm getting Jeremiah ready for PT and setting up my phone, Trey is in the back with TJ in TJ's room, watching TV, hanging out with his big bro. And now I kind of figure out how to get the Zoom session going. So we started that for PT with Jeremiah. So now we have Jeremiah all set up for his session, and the PT is just telling me some things. She wanted to see if he could track some items, so I'm just moving items along him. And then it was a struggle, so I was trying to let her see him so she can see what he was doing. And then after PT is over, it's 12:20. This is pretty much the end of the morning routine of my medically complex child, and we are doing diaper changes for both babies, and then we are headed to nap time. All right, so I'm just changing Jeremiah's pulse ox again because it's only been about 4 hours in between the last time that I changed his pulse ox, but since he'll be asleep for 2 to 3 hours at nap time, I wanted to change it so I wouldn't have to disturb him during his nap. If you are wondering, Trey is usually in and out of this. In between cares, we play. As you can see, Trey is dressed, so he did get dressed. I gave him all the same. He gets the same regimen, all the 11. If you're interested in seeing just a morning routine for us with twins, including TJ, I'll take out the trach care and all of that because obviously you guys have already seen it. Let me know in the comments below. But as you can see here, I'm giving Trey a diaper change as well before he lays down. And then when diaper changes are done, I move both boys to the room. I did Trey first, and then here I am dragging Jeremiah's cart in. Okay, so then I just give Jeremiah his Elmo, his lovey that he sleeps with all the time, and head to the kitchen to prepare his feed. Jeremiah does get a feed every 3 hours, so I didn't show you guys the 9:30 feed because I was giving Trey a bath in between. As you can see the tub, so I have a command strip on that cabinet right there where I can hang his feed bag so I can prime it. And priming the feed bag is just bringing some formula through the tube so that he doesn't get all of that air that's in there because it's a pump, so it goes to a pump, so it's going to push through, and you'll see me doing that. And this is the end of the video. If you like this kind of content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below, give me a thumbs up, and leave me a comment and let me know how you found our YouTube channel. You can follow us on Instagram at Raising Boys, and the twins also have an Instagram, which is King Twins, and I'll leave it in the description box below. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video.